is a 4FM, and I just want to do a reportage right at my location here in St. Hubert, which is in the south shore of Montreal. I'm just going to ask a few people if they're aware of what's going on in Nigeria. So stay tuned. Hey guys, well, it's really cold out here, so today I just decided to switch off the news for a moment and come and do a reportage concerning what's going on in Nigeria. Well, not many people around me actually do know that there is police brutality in Nigeria, and I just want to ask a few of them. My name is Aforfem. You might have heard me on radio, on my podcast, whatever. Anywhere you've heard about me or heard me speak concerning this movement, I want you to know that this movement is here to stay. Today we can also see Lewis Hamilton joining the movement. He's lent his voice towards the Sars movement, and of course won another Grand Prix title today. Congratulations to him. So I'm just going to take a few minutes to ask some people around, if you can look around my environment. I know you're wondering where exactly this woman is. Well, I am around St. Hubert. Well, French people call it St. Hubert. It's the city around the south shore of Montreal, and right here in Canada. And quite a number of people apparently do not know there's also police brutality happening right here in Nigeria. So I'm just going to take a breather, and of course when I do return, possibly I will interview just a few people who will share their thoughts and their views about police brutality as it's happening, unfolding in Nigeria, most especially because we see it now spreading even across Cameroon. And we're seeing it spread across other African countries, and I think this is a global issue. It's become a global issue, and we need to lend our voices to it right now. It needs to stop. All right, my name is Aforfem. I'll be right back. Stay tuned. I think there are just a few things I would like to touch upon, and I want to talk about the Lekki Toll massacre that happened on Tuesday. So on Tuesday in Lagos, Nigeria, which is the biggest and the largest economic capital of Nigeria, there were peaceful protesters there, lending their voice to the NSAS, to the NSAS movement. Of course, a lot of people across the country, when I say country, I mean Nigeria, had already started taking part in this peaceful protest, and it gradually spread across just like that. But then on Tuesday, the governor of Lagos State in Nigeria, I'm talking about Baba Jide Sanwo-Olu, he made an announcement earlier in the day calling for a curfew which was to start at 4 p.m. So what had happened was a lot of people were already outside during the peaceful protest. Most of the protesters were concentrated around the Lekki Toll Gate in Lagos, Nigeria. So once he announced the curfew on that very same day on Tuesday, a lot of people couldn't get back home in time. There was so much traffic. Some peaceful protesters decided to stay, at the protest ground, which was the Lekki Toll gate. Okay, so the Lekki Toll gate became a target. It became a target for people yet to be unidentified up till date. As I speak to you right now, there were some group of military soldiers. Of course, the footages that proves that these people went to the Lekki Toll gate and opened fire at peaceful protesters. Now, the peaceful protesters were waving the Nigerian flag and were singing the Nigerian national anthem, because there was a broadcast prior to that protest that once they held the Nigerian flag and they sang the national anthem of Nigeria, that if the military personnel saw them, they wouldn't fire at them. So what happened was a massacre, kind of a genocide that happened at the Lekki Toll gate. So you had people there peacefully protesting, calling for an end to police brutality in Nigeria. And of course, there was no clear, transparent protocol to have shown that the government was already, taking action to bring an end to this. So the protests had to continue. So now the peaceful protesters here at the Lekki Toll gate, and they opened fire at them. So the people who had opened fire at them were identified as military personnel, but now the Nigerian army is saying that they were not at the Lekki Toll gate to open fire at peaceful protesters. So now there are forensic evidences to show that yes, a massacre actually took place there, even though the Nigerian army has refused to have debunked the news that they weren't the one who were at the Lekki Toll gate. So the big question now for everyone is, who sent the military personnel to the Lekki Toll gate to open fire at peaceful protesters? And who were these men or women? This is the billion-dollar question that is yet to be answered, because we really do not know what exactly, is going on right now in Nigeria, because now you have the sitting governor of the state, already saying that he doesn't know the procedure and the line of command of the military. So he actually absolutely has no idea of what exactly had transpired between peaceful protesters, the Nigerian army, and of course other security personnel within its own domain, which is Lagos State. And that begs, a lot of questions. There's a lot of questions going on around. Are Nigerian young people safe in Nigeria right now? There's a lot happening. Extrajudicial killings are happening on the streets of Nigeria as I speak to you right now. It's very, very disturbing. A lot of young people want to leave Nigeria. If they have their way, they would leave right now as I speak to you, because just after the massacre that happened at the Lekki Toll gate, a lot of people, including celebrities, started putting out posts demanding for people in diaspora to assist them to leave Nigeria. So apparently there is a collective trauma among young people in Nigeria right now because they do not feel safe, and most especially most of the young people who lend their voices during the Sars protest that happened in Lagos, Nigeria for almost 2 weeks. Okay, so now what has happened now is that the protest has now been hijacked by hoodlums. So right now in Nigeria, there's been looting happening across the country. One of such lootings that happened was the one that happened 2 days ago, which was on Friday. We saw looting take place around the Apapa area, just behind Kirikiri prison, where some people went to the warehouse where the COVID-19 palliatives, which was meant for the masses during the lockdown. There was a lockdown that was announced in May, and this palliatives was put together by some private organizations and given to the government to distribute to Nigerians while they were seated at home. but it didn't get to Nigerians as at the time. Now what we are having is people locating different warehouses where this COVID palliative has been stored up and breaking into them and inviting their neighbors and their friends to go loot them. So we're seeing different lootings happening across the nation, from Taraba to Kaduna to Lagos to Osun State. Now the Osun State governor is asking people who have looted those palliatives to return them back within the next 48 hours. I doubt that's going to happen. And the reason why I doubt that's going to happen is because we do know that there is hunger and there's poverty in Nigeria. So many people are hungry. So this is their chance to have something to eat for themselves, their family, and their loved ones. So I do not see the looters who have looted this COVID-19 palliative returning them back to the government, who had supposed to have distributed them just before the lockdown was eased down. But then this is a developing story. The U.S. government, the U.S. mission in Nigeria already have put up a security alert for its citizens in Nigeria, and they have also called the federal government of Nigeria to look into what has happened in Nigeria on Tuesday, where young peaceful protesters were opened fire at. Now we cannot say or determine the number of dead, the number of casualties that we cannot determine right now as I speak. The government is yet to be able to determine the total number of casualties of the tragedy that happened at Lekki Toll gate in Lagos. So what is happening is that the government is trying to persecute looters. So we've seen a lot of press releases to encourage looters who have gone to different warehouses to return their loot. And of course, there have been a lot of arrests being made because private organizations and of course public properties have been destroyed by thugs. There are speculations, of course, that the government of the country of Nigeria sponsored this thugs, to disrupt the peaceful protest that has been happening across Nigeria. Because this is for the very first time that we do see young people in Nigeria come together in one voice and choosing to keep their differences aside. So we see feminists, we see members of the queer community and the LGBTQ community, and of course males and females alike, regardless of their ethnicity or religion, come together to demand that the government puts an end to a unit within the criminal department of the Nigerian police force. For some of you who do not know what Sars means, Sars is the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, and it's just an acronym for that. And the Special Anti-Robbery Squad is actually a unit within the Nigerian Police Department, criminal department. And when they started off this program, it was supposed to be disbanded completely a few years back, but it wasn't. It continued. And the people in this unit of the Nigerian police force are known to be very, very brutal when interrogating citizens of Nigeria. So what they do is to extort from young people. So if you look like me, for example, so you can see how I look. I'm wearing my high boots, and I'm also very well dressed, and I'm looking pretty flashy. So as a Nigerian young person, if you go out this way and you walk on the street as a young person, chances are that you will be searched without any such warrants. Chances are you will be extorted from. So how does this extortion happen? The extortion happens, as a result of them carrying the guns and, threatening these young people that, they would kill them and nothing is going to happen. So out of here, a lot of young people do cave in. So what they do is they bribe their way to be let go. So you see the Special Anti-Robbery Squad officers go to the ATMs, ask these young people to withdraw some money. Sometimes they also go around with the POS and they also use like a swipe card machine and swipe the amount of money they want to extort from these young people in order to let them go. And for this reason, many young people decided to come together to put an end to this. Besides this, last year, 2019, a young man who came from the US, Day Johnson is his name, now deceased. He was actually killed by an officer of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad. And this sparked a lot of conversation on social media. And up until now, justice has not been served. The police has not brought the officer in question into book. Nothing has been done. And of course, what do you expect young people to do? Of course, is to take on the streets and let their voices be heard. And so right now, there are no leaders of the Sars movement. It's just a movement that everyone feels, particularly interested in. Everyone feels, every young person, not just even young people, we've seen adults sponsor, support young Sars movement protesters all across the globe. There was one that happened here in Montreal on Friday. I was a part of it. It was absolutely beautiful. And I love the fact that we all came out on Friday in Montreal, and that was at Lionel Group, and we all took part in that. Because on Thursday, when the President of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, made this broadcast, he actually did not acknowledge the Lekki Toll massacre. He never acknowledged them. He actually did say that innocent lives were lost, during the period of the protest, but he never did acknowledge that young, peaceful protesters died, at the Lekki Toll gate. And this begs a lot of questions. But then, of course, he's the president of Nigeria and the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. He did acknowledge that the police officers, were killed in the line of duty, and he sympathizes with them. But of course, what had happened is that thugs had hijacked the peaceful protest, and there are speculations that these thugs who have hijacked this peaceful protest were sponsored by the government. I'm going to take a breather right now, and of course, when I do it, and I hope I'm able to get someone I can talk to here about this Sars movement and what to think about it. So stay tuned. I'll be right back. My name is Aforfem.
So, okay, all of us go come get one same spirit. 100. If Nigeria know better, we know they move. By the grace of God, this might begin Western year, so see our place where. Nigeria must be a great country for us. Excuse me. Yes, ma'am. My daughter is not going abroad to school. Yes. She goes to school here. Yes. Education has to be good. Yes. My daughter is a girl. Yes. I don't want her to be raped. Yes. So we need to take the animals off the street. Yes. And where are we taking them to? Sambisa.
Okay, what's the name? Again,
Simon.
Simon. Okay, Simon. So I have Simon right here with me. He'd rather not be filmed, so you're going to be hearing his voice. So I'm just going to ask him just a few questions. I already told him about the Sars movement. He wasn't previously aware. So, but Simon, what do you think about police brutality?
Well, I think it's horrible.
Okay.
In any circumstance, because they overreach their actual power and duty.
Okay. So what do you consider standard policing?
Well, peaceful interaction on both sides. I think someone getting pulled over or intercepted by the police must be polite too and facilitate the exchange. But I don't think police should overreach.
Okay.
Any circumstance.
Okay. And what do you think can be done to end this completely? Because it's becoming like a global nightmare now. No.
I don't think it's becoming. I think it always was this way. It just didn't have that much traction and attention.
Oh, okay.
I think any human in position of authority will always tend to take too much of it, and even if it's like, I don't know, 2%, 10% of the police force, it still matters because I think more scrutiny, more background check, more appropriate formation.
Okay.
Other than that, I think it's the flawed human nature will always lead to some circumstance. That's why you need to create new laws and act accordingly. But it's a complex problem. I don't think it can be solved overnight.
Okay. All right, but we'll keep the open live. Thank you so much for your time, Simon.
It's been a pleasure.
Have a great weekend.
Are you okay with that?
So we just had Simon there give us a take on what he thinks about police brutality, and yes, I kind of quite agree with him because once you give people power, they tend to abuse it. So we need more laws, more policies in place to ensure that all of these injustices, are served. I'm just going to take a breather right now, and of course, when I do return, you'll hear from more people. Yeah, sorry that Simon didn't want to put his face on the camera, but as I do these interviews, there will be more people to talk to, hopefully. So stay tuned. I'll be right back. 25th of October, Sunday. It's very cold out here, and I'll call it a wrap right now because it's getting dark. But now you understand what the NSAS movement is all about. For those of you who want to be a part of it, you can follow my social media handles, Aforfemist, AFORFEMIST, to get more updates as this event is unfolding. Yes, it's an event because now we see protests happening all across the globe. Yesterday they had a protest in Berlin, Germany, and of course today in British Columbia, Prince George, British Columbia, there is also a protest that is being held today. Tomorrow we do not know exactly where the protest is going to be held, but in the coming weeks we're going to be seeing more and more protests even across Canada and across the globe. So you want to stay tuned to my channel, follow my social media platforms. I'm on Facebook. You can search me out on Facebook, Aforfem is the name, and you can also search me on YouTube. Follow, keep a date, follow us on Instagram, and of course in Twitter. It's a news company, of course, so we're going to be bringing you this news as it's unfolding all across the globe. And we are also watching to see what the international community is going to do to the government of Nigeria, considering that the evidence is improved that this event did take place at Lekki Toll gate. There was a massacre there. Right now, from sources reaching me, one of the eyewitnesses, DJ Switch, is right now on the run because the government is trying to snatch her voice, and I just hope that the international community steps in. For me personally, I think enough of the opinions. Let's get to work, let's get action, let's put pressure and demand justice for the victims of police brutality in Nigeria. It could be you, it could have been me, it could have been our loved ones that got killed and have been getting killed in the hands of the Nigerian police. And it's become a global issue, and I just hope that maybe we can have a convergence of nations come together and address the issue, concerning police brutality. There's a reason why they're brutal. For me personally, I think that the police is to protect lives and properties, and now when this becomes the reverse, then there is an issue somewhere. Something is wrong. Something absolutely